In this tutorial, we will be demonstrating how to utilize the Memory Performance Dashboard within your virtual desktop environment using the VDI ToolKit. This dashboard allows you to see overall memory performance metrics across your virtual desktop environment. So what information does the Memory Performance Dashboard provide? Well, it provides daily average memory metrics, average memory breakdown by hour metrics, day, week, month, and quarter average memory metrics, highest 5 average memory metrics, and lastly, the lowest 5 memory metrics. So let's go over a few definitions first before we go over those. First is available megabytes, which is the amount of physical memory in megabytes immediately available for allocation to a process or for system use. It is equal to the sum of memory assigned to the standby, free, and zero-page lists. Committed megabytes is the amount of committed virtual memory in megabytes. Committed memory is the physical memory which has space reserved on the disk paging files. Percent of committed bytes in use is the ratio of memory to committed bytes to the memory to commit limit. Committed memory is the physical memory in use for which space has been reserved in the paging file should it need to be written to disk. The commit limit is determined by the size of the paging file. If the paging file is enlarged, the commit limit increases and the ratio is reduced. Pages per second is the rate at which pages are read from or written to disk to resolve hard page faults. The counter is a primary indicator of the kinds of faults that cause system-wide delays. It includes pages retrieved to satisfy faults in the file system cache, non-cache map memory files. Paging file use percentage is the amount of the page file instance in use in percent. Okay, so the daily average memory metrics provide information on daily average committed megabytes, daily average pages per second, daily average committed percentage, daily average paging file use percentage, and daily average used megabytes by processes. The memory breakdown by hour metrics provide information on hourly average committed megabytes, hourly average pages per second, hourly average committed percentage, hourly average paging file use percentage, and hourly average used megabytes by processes. Day, week, month, and quarter memory metrics provide information on average available megabytes, average used megabytes by all processes, average paging file usage percent, and average pages per second. So the highest 5 average memory metrics provide information on average available megabyte by user, average used megabyte by processes by user, average paging file used percent by user, and average pages per second by user. This can be useful in identifying your highest consumers within your virtual desktop environment. The lowest 5 average memory metrics provide information on average available megabytes by user, average used megabytes by processes by user, average paging file used percent by user, and average pages per second by user. This can be helpful in identifying your lowest consumers to use as a cross comparison or a cross reference with the highest consumers to help troubleshoot the differences. So let's talk about why our charts are ugly. And I get that's a strong term, and really they're not ugly, and we actually take great pride in our charts. So let me elaborate on what I mean by that. First, we believe data should be represented as it presents itself and should be unadulterated. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means we use no smoothing algorithms on our charts, such as rolling moving averages, etc. Many other companies, when providing charts, are so worried about making them pretty, they modify the data with smoothing algorithms. You are in essence not seeing the true representation of the data when such algorithms are used. This can lead to thinking there isn't a problem when there actually is one. We choose to focus on a true representation of data versus a pretty representation of data. We believe this will equip you with better tools to help make better decisions within your virtual desktop environment. Up next, we will demonstrate utilizing the Memory Performance Dashboard using the VDI ToolKit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So what we want to do is we'll want to go ahead and open up the management console, and I have that running on a virtual desktop, and we will go ahead and open that now. Once the management console is open, we will then take and expand. I'll go ahead and expand it, and then we'll want to navigate to dashboards, performance, and it'll open up the CPU one first. And what we'll want to do is navigate here in the lower right to memory. So here's the memory dashboard, and let's go ahead and go over it. So first I'll go over the memory daily metrics. So as we could see here, we have these daily metrics that are averages that are taken daily, just so we can notify trends or things like that within our environment, which could be helpful. Let's say we've deployed a new application to our virtual desktops and many of our users are using it, and now they have like critical low available memory levels. We could see that there was a change here and maybe go back and make a change to the master image and add some more memory or whatnot. Just so you know too, you can take and go to a breakdown by left clicking and then dragging and highlighting the area you want to break down into. So as you can see here, I've gone and broke down. Now if I double click on the graph, it'll bring it back to the 365-day view. And I can also navigate to the ellipsis, and I can add grid lines if I want, or I can actually show the legend. Now with the legend, I can deselect items, and it will actually turn those items off, so I only see the selected items. I'll go ahead and re-enable those now and turn the legend off. Okay, so next we have the memory breakdown by hour metrics. So as you can see here, we have the average committed megabytes, average used megabytes, average available megabytes, average paging file used percentage, average committed percentage, and then the average pages per second. And this can be helpful in identifying trends during certain hours through a 24-hour period. So this is all data that's averaged up over the last 365 days. And as you can see just by looking at this chart, we have a spike between 7 and 9 and 8 and 9. And just to kind of give you an idea, but please keep in mind, this is just dummy data that we've entered just to show and demonstrate. Okay, next we have the day, week, month, and quarter metrics up here that are provided at the top. And that's average available megabytes, average used megabytes by all processes, average paging file usage percentage, and average pages per second. And we can change the time interval to whatever we want, and as you'll see, it'll update the values. Now this time interval also updates the values for the highest and the lowest items here. So moving on, we'll come to the highest items. We have the average available megabytes by user. And just keep in mind that these are going to be low numbers, and the reason being is because if you have low available memory, then that's an issue. Then we also have average used megabytes by all processes. So this just gives you an idea of your users that are running the most applications concurrently from their virtual desktop. We also have average paging file used percentage, which gives you an idea how much the page file is being pegged. So if it's getting really high, you may want to add more memory to your master image. And then we have average pages per second, which you normally would want a low number in that. If we come here and click and switch to lowest, we can see our lowest ones, and it's the same available items as the highest. And this helps you to identify your lowest consumers within your virtual desktop environment. So maybe you can kind of see what the difference is to try to hone in or narrow down, hey, these are all employees from this department. So maybe it's an application they use. What application are they using that the other users aren't using and whatnot? And also too, with the dashboards, just so you know, you can always print a dashboard by coming up here and selecting print, and then you can go ahead and print your dashboard. So I hope this tutorial has been useful for you, and thank you.